probably seen this week. I've been at Old Trafford.
We saw it, Micah.
Taking penalties.
Missing penalties.
Don't you worry, by the way, we're getting on to that.
I can tell you my record is still 0 goals.
We know what your record is. It's useless.
The Lionesses are in the World Cup final. How about that? What an achievement. They played so well in that game against Australia, didn't they?
We had a conversation about their form, and gradually it's got better and better and better. Obviously, the big conundrum is Lauren James. She got suspended for 2 games. Now she's available for the final. But Ella Toone in that position, she was outstanding. She took a finish excellently well. The way she just bent it, because when the ball comes to you like that, you lot are a better player to talk about it than me. But there's only one way you could hit it to make it go in the top. You sort of like brush across the ball, and it was an outstanding finish. The 3 centre halves, Greenwood, Bright, and Carter, have been exceptional this tournament as well, and just a real good feel-good factor around the team. At times, you're worrying how they're going to set up, but Serena Wigman, she always has a way, and just getting to the final is a massive achievement. So, well done, the Lionesses.
Are you bringing Lauren James back in?
Well, that's the question.
Would you?
That's a conundrum. I mean, it's one of those games where the final in any final is always tense, and the game's going to be open in the second half. So keep it tight and then bring on Lauren James to get the winner or change the game. So I would keep the winning team from the semi-final.
I was playing in a pro-am with Lee Westwood. There's a big tournament going on at my local course, Close House, the International Series England and the Asian Tour, and it's a really good field. And I was lucky enough to play in the pro-am there on Wednesday. Whilst the game was going on, I said to the tournament director on the first tee, I said, I know you're not meant to have phones on the course, but you cannot stop me having a phone today with England in the semi-final. It was my excuse for being shit anyway, because I kept checking my phone.
and Alan, I have to say, it's great that the Toon are in a final.
Yeah, it's magnificent, and I mean when you're looking at the viewing figures for people watching on television, again they've captured the nation, the country, and everyone's supporting them. It's great to see, and what a morning Sunday is going to be, isn't it? 11 o'clock kickoff here in England, and wow, what an opportunity again for them. It's just magnificent.
Yeah, Spain, of course, in the final. It's a horrible question to ask. Are they going to do it?
Oh, we've got to back them. We've backed them all the way, haven't we? And Micah is right. We've said that. We've mentioned about form and just getting through the tournament stage by stage, and they've been able to do that, and their performances have picked up. So, judging by that, they're going to get better again in the final, and of course they're going to do it.
I'd just say a couple of things. I mean, the finishing was superb, wasn't it? All 3 goals were exceptional. But a word for the goalkeeper, because they often in the past few years, the goalkeepers in the women's game have got a lot of stick. But I think the goalkeeping in this tournament has showed how much they've improved. And Mary Earps, I mean, she's a hell of a keeper, isn't she?
Outstanding. Again, I've worked with her in doing some TV work, and I think what makes her so good is her own self-belief. She's had a tough run, and she wasn't always number 1 for England. It's only because one of the goalkeepers got injured, and she took a chance. And it's a confident self-belief that just makes her believe how good she is. And she performs well. She's good with the feet. She makes some outstanding saves. And you know what it is? She's calm under pressure. That's what I love about her. Every time someone goes through, she just does a job. She's not after the limelight. She just does her job. So yeah, she's been great.
You'd back her in a penalty shootout as well, wouldn't you?
Indeed, I would, Alan.
Well, they've already won one of those. You mentioned calmness there, and I think that's probably the thing that comes out for me the most of this particular team. They do seem to have a calm. They don't get overexcited. They don't seem to get too nervous. They don't over-celebrate perhaps when they score, and they don't seem to be affected when things go against them a little bit in the game.
Yeah, but that comes from the manager, doesn't it, Gary?
Exactly.
I think that started long before the tournament, because as we know that with the issues through injuries that they had, she never panicked, did she? It was just like, yeah, we've got to accept it, we've got to take it. It's happened. We just got to move on. And I think that all comes from the manager.
Well, let's all wish them all the very best in the final. It's been a long time since England won a football World Cup. It would be truly special, but whatever happens, they've definitely done us proud in this tournament. One other issue that's happened in midweek since we last spoke is that Manchester City, Micah, have won another trophy, the Super Cup.
Yeah, I mean, watching Man City now, they're obviously a great team, but Kevin De Bruyne gets a big injury. Gundogan's left. And it seems to me like they're not in the groove. It's early stages. Man City always take a little bit of time to get going. They have all that position, but they have all that possession, but it just feels like to me that something is missing at this moment in time. Haaland was making so many runs in this game against Seville. Seville was a very good team, very compact, know how to defend. But there seems like there's a link between the midfield and attack that is missing. I was so happy for Cole Palmer. He scored in the Community Shield and he gets another goal. And it was strange, the interview after with Pep, he's basically saying he's not going on loan. He's either for sale or he's going to be with the squad, which I thought was interesting. They've been linked with Paquetá, and I really do like him, but he's not got to the heights I thought he would before Man City was interested. So it's going to be intriguing to see how the season pans out in terms of creativity.
Yeah, Cole Palmer, well, I mean, it's a hell of a start for the season for him. So do you think he can grab a place in that team, Alan?
Yeah, he can get a place in it, but there's no way he's going to replicate what Kevin De Bruyne can do. I mean, and it would be unfair of us to even suggest that, because we've been going on, and rightly so, about Kevin De Bruyne and how brilliant he is and one of the best players in the world, and how much we as forwards would like to be on the end of his passes. So it wouldn't be fair of us to say he's going to come in and do what he can do, but there's no doubt about it. He brings a certain and a different talent to that team, and he's had a great start to the season. Micah just said, with his goal a couple of weeks ago, his goal again on Wednesday evening. Yeah, he's an exceptional player, but there's no way he's filling De Bruyne's boots.
Since we last spoke, of course, the other side in Manchester have been in action. They played Wolves on Monday night. Now, we all thought Wolves would struggle this season. I actually had them in my bottom three, but I thought they played so well in that game. I was thinking about changing my mind. The only thing that worries you about Wolves is they couldn't finish off a bag of crisps, could they, really? I mean, they had so many chances in that game, but boy, did they play well, Alan.
Yeah, and when you consider the small amount of time that Gary O'Neill's had to work with his team, I thought they were really well organised. They're obviously all on the same page. But yeah, their big problem last season, scoring goals, and again the other night, I mean, it looks as if that's going to be the same thing again. They created so much, they did so well, and of course they were robbed with a decision, which I'm sure we're going to get onto. But overall, in general, I thought a lot of their play was excellent.
Mateus Cunha was his performance extraordinary. He just couldn't finish it off. But that aside, he caused havoc in United's midfield in particular.
It really... Well, I only seen the first half, because you've probably seen this week, I've been at Old Trafford
we saw it, Micah.
taking penalties.
Missing penalties.
Don't you worry, by the way, we're getting onto that.
I can tell you my record is still 0 goals.
We know what your record is. It's useless.
Micah, is it true that you're just a Gary Neville? We heard the crowd singing. Was it embarrassing or was it fun?
No, it was absolutely amazing. We did a little bit of training beforehand. So we went...
Micah, explain to people first what you were doing and why on earth you were taking penalties at Old Trafford.
Well, I didn't know we was allowed to promote different people on there, so I was sort of leaving that out. But it was for League of Their Own.
That's fine. You can promote what you want on it. It's our podcast. Do what you want.
It's our show. We can do what we want, Micah.
Wonderful! I feel free. So, okay, let's go back to the beginning. One of the regulars on A League of Their Own. As you know, League of Their Own, it is a fun sports program. So someone came up with the idea. Don't be jealous, Alan. Don't be jealous. So someone came up with the idea of going to Old Trafford, me being Manchester City, and Jamie Redknapp being obviously Liverpool, taking penalties at half time. So before that, we had 3 hours training at the Cliff. And for those who don't know, it's old Man United training ground. So much history there. Brilliant. So in training, I was slotting them left, right, dig, whatnot. Okay, we arrive at Old Trafford. And you know what it's like at Old Trafford? You get a certain part of love, the fans are nice and whatnot. And you just get them ones who are just looking at you like, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, so we go out there, we get changed. We're walking down and we're getting so much abuse. What are you doing? What is this fucking shit? What has Old Trafford become now? It's an absolute joke. So the aim is we get 3 penalties each and we have to score basically the most. And whoever loses has to wear a Man United shirt. So I go first, don't I? So I'm going down the touchline and I'm getting abused, all sorts. But then the fans started quite enjoying it, so giving me a bit, but like clapping me and all that. And then I got that thing you lot have seen. We've talked about my penalty before, and I thought to myself, just relax. What did I do with the first one? I hit the post, shank it.
Oh, no.
Right side of the keeper. The second one, the keeper saves to the keeper's left.
Please tell me you got the third one in.
And the third one, he saved also as well.
Micah, I wouldn't be too worried about the penalty misses. I'd be more worried about that tight top he had on.
It was tight, wasn't it? It was tight.
It was like I thought it was a spray on. It was that tight.
So I presume that that you had to wear the Manchester United top then, because surely he scored one, didn't he, Redknapp?
Redknapp scored 2 and he shanked 1. You know, yeah. He had to do it, didn't he? Look at me, I'm Jamie Redknapp, absolute melt.
Yeah, it must have been quite embarrassing having to wear, not only having not scored 1, but also having to put a United top on. Must have been hard.
It was horrible. And it's not the first time I've done that as well. Shocking. But never again. I'm never doing anything like that again.
I think we all tipped Manchester United to be in the top 4. Did it put you off? Because they were I mean, I know they got 3 points, Alan, but I mean, it's so early in the season, but they looked very vulnerable, particularly midfield. They were overrun a bit, weren't they?
Yeah, I tend to wait for half a dozen games to be gone before I start and alter or change my predictions or opinions of what's going to happen. But yeah, it looked as if they've got a lot of work to do, particularly in the midfield area, because they were outplayed, outthought, and they looked second best in the midfield area. So that would be a bit of a concern for me, for Man United.
And of course, there was that extraordinary decision at the end, and that's the reason that, one of the reasons, because we want to talk about perhaps the new laws a little bit, but more about how VAR will work.